Good evening, good evening, family, and welcome to Lone Wolf Firearms Training on this 20th day of September, 2023. I am your host, Juan J. Johnson, coming to you live. And we got a hot topic tonight. As a matter of fact, we're just going to do a continuation of the topic from last night, got guns and the top questions people ask about guns, part two. So I need you to get your libations, call a friend. I need you to like it and share this video because we will be going live shortly dealing with this whole questions on guns. Uh, Before I get into my spiel, let me deal with this preliminaries first. If you are interested in firearms training, I'm gonna need you to go to lwftraining.com right now for all of your firearms needs, all of them. Okay. If you want an HQL, which is a handgun qualification license, I need you to go right now to lwftraining.com. If you need a wear and carry or concealed carry, there are 16-hour classes, family, 2 days, 9 to 5, Friday, Saturday, 9 to 5 on Saturdays, 9 to 5. Um, Need you to go and sign up for those classes immediately. Again, I got to come on right now and make sure that I am broadcasting on all these platforms. Again, uh, social media has a very particular way of limiting your audience these days. I keep mine on public because I want folks to see what I got to say. Okay. There. So I think we are live and we are kicking it right now on the different platforms. Again, I'm gonna need you to contact your friends, frenemies, families, and tell them that Lone Wolf Firearms is on the air right now, and we about to get it cooking. I know I am late. I know I'm late, family, but that's okay. I'm gonna go over this. I'm gonna need you to share this video. I'm gonna need you to like it, unlike it, and I'm gonna need you to subscribe to the channel. Okay, share, unlike, or like it, and subscribe to the channel. Okay, that's what I need you to do. And if you missed this broadcast, I need you to take another look at it later on tonight. Tomorrow, it'll be available. It's a continuation from what we discussed on yesterday. I had a chance to view the video on yesterday, and I found out that the video had a real bad audio. And I'm hoping tonight that that's not the case, that the audio was bad. So I'm crossing my fingers, dotting my I's, crossing my T's to make sure that we are broadcasting with clarity. Again, um, I was just real surprised by how the audio was last night. And look at family, if you're watching these videos and I appear to be muffled and you can't really make me out and hear me, I need you to put it in the chat, put it in the comments that there's some, you can't hear me, the audio's not good, so I can on my end make those corrections, okay? Because again, I want you to be able to get what I'm saying. I want to be clear, concise, and sharp to the point, and that's what I need. That is just what I need, okay? So with that said, that's just what I need, okay? That's what I need, okay? So look here. We're cooking right now. We're cooking right now. We are cooking with grease right now. I know I'm late, and the goal is not to hold you up. So let me get straight to the topic. Hold up before that. Renews HQL, renews for handgun qualification license, renews for wear and carry, renews for concealed carry. Go to lwftraining.com. Also, if you no longer want your guns, I need you to go to lwf.com, lwftraining.com, and I want you to contact me. We will come and get the guns, take them off your hands, and we will bring them to the company for educational purposes. Again, we cannot have enough guns. The more guns I have, the more guns I can show you how to work with. I can teach you on. I can train you on. Can't have enough guns. We just cannot have enough guns, family. So with that said, I need you to go to lwftraining.com and let's make this happen. Also, Intro to Firearms. Intro, 2-hour course. I need you to be about the business of learning Intro to Firearms. We had the discussion on yesterday. How early should we train our children? I'm saying as early as 5 or 6 years old. Get them a small little water gun, a little toy gun that don't shoot, but at least they can see how the gun is. They can be able to identify the parts, uh, you know, of the gun. We need to. This is re-educating, reimagining the future of our children now into the future. Okay, if you want something done, sometimes you got to do it yourself. Actually, most of the time you have to do it yourself. Okay, so with that said, let us get into this topic for today. Again, this will be a continuation from what we went through on last night, family. Again, I want to make sure that number one, that you are very knowledgeable about this whole gun piece. I don't want you getting locked up. I want you going to jail, but I want you to know how to operate these guns. Okay, again, we went over yesterday the Second Amendment. The Second Amendment. Okay, I try to break it down. The Second Amendment is very basic. Okay, the Second Amendment states that as an American citizen, you have the individual right to arm yourself. Period. The amendment also firmly establishes that the government cannot infringe on that right. So you, as a citizen, whether you was born here or you came here and you pledged and you went through the whole citizenship process, you have a right to bear arms. Okay, you have a right to bear arms. Again, the Second Amendment states that as an American citizen, you have the individual right to arm yourself. The amendment also firmly establishes that the government cannot infringe on that right. So I need anybody under the sound of my voice, whether you're in Maine, California, and if you're outside of the country, okay, just pay attention. This is what makes America so great, because most of the citizens can bear arms. They can defend themselves. They don't have to wait for the police, the National Guard, the Coast Guard, okay, the county police, the municipal police officers. We don't have to wait. We can bear arms, protect our family and our property, okay, as long as we're within the legal confines of the law. All right. So we went over that yesterday. We went over how do I purchase a firearm legally? Went over that yesterday. Again, the video was made yesterday. I'm just going to hit the questions. Not going to go into the details, but just the questions. We went over yesterday also. What are the different type of firearms? Okay. What are the different types? You know, you got your rifle, your shotgun, and your handguns. Rifle, shotgun, handguns, to be exact. Those are the different type of firearms. You got more detail when you go watch the video, okay? What is the difference between a handgun and a long gun? We went over that. What is the difference between a handgun and a long gun? The size, the length, okay, and also the accuracy. You're going to be more accurate with a long gun than with a handgun, because the handgun, as I stated on yesterday, it's limited in its reach as far as maybe 50, 55, 60 yards, and then the rounds are going to drop. Versus a long gun, the rounds are going to carry a little bit further. The longer the barrel, the further the round projects. Okay. Whenever also, what is a background check and why is it required when buying a handgun? Again, go watch the video. Also, how do I safely store firearms in my home? Went over that yesterday too. So again, I think yesterday was a good broadcast. We went over a lot of good stuff. A lot of questions was answered. So also, how do I safely store my firearm? You know, a lot of folks ask the question, how do I store my firearm? That was covered in the last broadcast too. Also, what is concealed carry and how does it work? Again, these are on the video on yesterday. These questions were answered on the video yesterday. Also, what are the most important gun safety rules? Now, I'll talk about that because every firearm user, every gun owner, every shooter has to know the 5 or the 4 basic firearm rules, which is number 1, off the break, you treat every gun like it's loaded. Always treat every gun like it's loaded. Okay. Number 2, you make sure you point that gun in a safe direction. You point every gun in a safe direction, which is you don't point the gun at people, family. That's all it means. Safe direction is you do not want to point the gun at people. Number 3, you always keep that finger off the trigger till it's time to shoot. You don't want to, what we do all the time, we pick up guns and we immediately put our fingers inside of the trigger. Okay, you don't want to do that. You place your index finger on the frame. Put your index finger on the frame. Get into the habit of putting your finger on the frame. Number 4, know your target and what's beyond your target. It is not enough for you to know your target. You must know what's beyond your target, because in case you miss your target and you hit something else, that is the possibility, family. Every time you decide to discharge a round from your gun, you're going to hit something or somebody. Okay, you're responsible for every round to come out that gun. You are responsible. I am responsible for every round that comes out that gun, family. Okay, let's be very clear with this. All right, and the fifth one, when you store your weapon, you are responsible for making sure you store your weapon unloaded and inaccessible to anybody. Nobody should have access to your weapons, and your weapons should not be loaded. Again, nobody should have access to your guns, and your guns should not be loaded. Okay? Those are the 5 gun rules for safety. The 5. Okay? Every gun owner, every shooter knows these rules. They know these rules, family. So again, you should know them. And especially if you are making the decision to become a responsible gun owner and gun user. Again, just trying to get my social media like it should be. I'm losing my frequency, but I'm going to fix this thing up. Again, I'm going to make it work. It's going to happen. All right. So we're going to okay, see something. We're gonna get started soon, family. We're gonna get started soon. Again, I need you to check out the video on yesterday. Check out the video on yesterday. Go over it. It's kind of muffly, but you can still extract some good information from the video. All right. Let's start with this one. How do I clean? Today, how do I clean and maintain my firearm? How do I clean and maintain my firearm? So the answer is this. It helps to have a gun cleaning kit size for your firearm type. Rifle, handgun, or shotgun. So watch this. Every gun, the manufacturers are making kits for each gun, whether you have a revolver, a semi-automatic handgun, a shotgun, or a rifle. It helps to have a gun cleaning kit for your particular gun. Always make sure your gun is completely unloaded before you decide to clean it. And I say use your eye protection and some gloves when cleaning it, because those solvents get into the skin. Okay. And you don't want to be cleaning your gun and accidentally some of those solvents get into your eye. Okay. So have your eye protection on, put on some gloves. And if you can't deal with the fumes, you may even want to do a mask too. Okay. But make sure that you have a gun cleaning kit that's specifically for your gun. Trust me, the shotgun and the rifle kits are going to be longer because the barrels are longer. Okay. And they got rods that goes deep down in those barrels to get all the nooks and crannies to make it clean. And their solvents, okay? The handgun, something different. You can actually use a shotgun or handgun cleaning kit because the revolvers are a little bit smaller, or the semi-automatic handguns are smaller. Okay, so you may be able to get away with using one of those kits for your guns. Okay, but make sure when you're cleaning it, you make sure that the gun is unloaded and the gun is pointed in the safe direction when you decide to make it safe and when you decide to disassemble the gun. Okay, that's what we need you to do. Make sure it's unloaded and it's disassembled. All right, that's the question. That's one question. How do I clean and maintain my firearm? And you make sure you clean it. Watch this. Make sure there's a good ventilation. Make sure there's a good ventilation when you're cleaning your gun. Meaning, you want it to be in an area where you're able to release those fumes and those chemicals from those solvents, those cleaning agents that you're using. Okay, you may want to clean it outside, but whatever you do, make sure the place where you're cleaning it is breathable. You know what I'm saying? All right. That you're going to pull out those fumes. Okay. All right. Number 2. What's the next one? What is the difference between a semi-automatic and a fully automatic firearm? Great question. What is the difference between a semi-automatic and a fully automatic weapon? The answer: a semi-automatic weapon fires one shot every time the trigger is pulled. And an automatic weapon fires continually until the trigger is released. So think about the rifles. The rifles are more so the fully automatic firearms where you pull that trigger in there, blah, 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 blah. But with the semi-automatic handgun, okay, you can only fire one shot at a time, just like with the revolver. It's one shot, one pull, one shot, one pull. That's the biggest difference between your semi-automatic and your fully automatic firearms, is how many rounds it shoots at one time. That's the biggest difference. All right. Hope I answered your question. Question number 3 would be, what are the common caliber sizes for handguns and rifles? And look here, if you have a question that you want to ask me, just put it in the chat and I'll answer the question. If you have a question, just put it in the chat. What are the common caliber sizes for handguns and rifles? So the most common calibers among gun enthusiasts generally fall into one of these categories: the 22 caliber, most popular rifle caliber, the 30 caliber, 35 caliber, 38 caliber, the 9mm is the most popular handgun. All right. Then you have your 45 calibers and your 22 LR, which is long range. Okay. Rifle, long range rifles has been used in both rifles and pistols. So the twin, okay. There are also 5.6mm pistols, generally a rifle round, a 357 Magnum, and a 44 Magnum lever action rifle and revolvers. So those are the common caliber sizes for your handguns and your rifles. Again, I repeat, your 22s, your 30 cals, your 35 calibers, 38 calibers, okay, your 9mm, okay, your 45s, your 22s, okay. I will throw in your 227s and your 5.56. 227s are picking up in popularity along with the 5.56s, okay, your 357s, okay, and your 44 mags, okay. Those are the common caliber sizes for handguns and rifles. All right, again, we'll keep moving on. Any questions, just put it inside the chat. Again, I still want you to share this video, like it, unlike it, and subscribe to the channel. All right. Question number 4 will be this: can I carry a gun for self-defense in public places? Okay. That's a tricky question. It all depends on the state that you're in. Okay, that's a broad question. Actually, that's a loaded question because, again, there is no one blanket comment. Okay, you got to realize this: whether you can legally use a gun to defend yourself depends on the circumstances and the laws of the state where the shooting occurs. So it's not saying that you can't carry. Okay, yes, yes. Yes, you can carry, but whether or not you will be charged with a crime of carrying a gun illegally, assuming you are out in public with no permit, depends on the state family. You have to be familiar with the states, the laws that you're in. All right, watch this. Watch this. Whether you can legally use a gun to defend yourself depends on the circumstances and the laws of the state where the shooting occurred. Again, so we're not saying you cannot carry a gun for self-defense in public. You can carry a gun in public for self-defense if you are working within the laws of that state. Again, each state have their own different laws. Up north, the Bostons, the Massachusetts, the Connecticut's, the New Yorks. Woo, those are some tough states. Okay. Okay. Very tough states. They require gun permits by the citizens. Okay. They require gun permits, family. That's all I'm saying. So if you know you're traveling to a state and they require gun permits, I'm gonna need you to maybe think twice about going to that state. I'm gonna need you to think twice about even, yeah. I'm gonna need you to think twice about frequenting that state with your legally carried gun. I don't want you to get no trick bag, okay? Okay. But yes, whether or not you will be charged with a crime of carrying a gun illegally, assuming you are out in public with no permit, depends on the state. You can carry it, but again, make sure you know the laws of that state. Whether you can legally use your gun to defend yourself depends on the circumstances and the laws of the state where the shooting occurs. I hope I'm clear with that. Okay? It's yes with stipulations. It's yes with understanding. Okay? And all you're getting, please get understanding. That's all I'm saying. All right? Number 5 question. Are there any restrictions on owning certain types of firearms? All right. Are there any restrictions on owning certain types of firearms? The answer. So short barrel shotguns and rifles also are illegal. Short barrel shotguns and rifles are illegal. Undetectable firearms, okay, are also illegal. All right. Firearms that are not immediately recognizable as firearms, they're illegal. Okay. They just passed a law about these ghost guns. They're illegal because there's no serial number on these guns. Okay. Okay. The weapons that fall under illegal possession include firearms illegal to all civilians, machine guns, sawed-off shotguns. Okay. You cannot have that sawed off. You cannot have a sawed-off shotgun, family. It's illegal. Okay. Again, short barrel shotguns and rifles, illegal. You see the penal code 33215. Undetectable firearms are also illegal. And firearms that are not immediately recognizable as firearms. Okay. So think about that. Think about that. Think about these guns you have in your possession that you are either modifying. You can modify guns, okay? But to a degree, to a certain degree, all right? All right. Again, if you have any questions, go inside the chat. How do I transport? Next question. How do I transport firearms legally? Okay. A universal principle, universal law. You place your firearm in a case, what's going to be hard or soft when transporting the vehicle. When not actually hunting, guns should be unloaded, separate from the ammo, and not accessible. You cannot have a gun underneath your seat, on your back seat. The gun cannot be readily accessible, family. Say this again. That gun cannot be readily accessible, and it must not be loaded. Okay? And the ammo should be in an ammo box. Okay? If you're going to transport your firearm legally, it needs to be in a box or a soft case, with or without a lock. Okay? All right? Let's be very clear with this. Also, again, it cannot be readily accessible. All right? See, I got some comments here. See who's on the house. Okay. We got Carissa Span in the house doing cartwheels. Howdy to you. That's right. Another wolf pack. The wolf pack is in the house again tonight. Okay. Um, but again, uh, if you're going to transport your gun, I'm gonna need you to make sure the gun is not loaded, that the gun is in the trunk. If the gun is not in the trunk, then the gun should be somewhere in the back seat in a locked container or bag. The guns cannot be readily accessible, family. The guns cannot be readily accessible, and it shall not be loaded. Okay? That's to make sure that you are transporting your firearm legally. Okay? That's how you legally transport your firearm. And the ammo should possibly be in the gun box locked. Okay? Or under the seat. But you do not want your ammo and gun together. And you definitely don't want your gun loaded under no circumstances if you're transporting, unless you are a concealed carry or wear and carry, and you are authorized from the state, okay, to be wear and carry. Just said this. What's she said? There's a question in the house. Carissa Span said, why not on my front seat where I may need to quickly assess it? Again, the law does not want you to be readily accessible to your firearm unless you are a concealed carry. If you're concealed carry, then your gun's going to be on your hip. Okay? Or they've got little devices now where the gun is still readily accessible. They got like little magnets that people now putting in their gun in their cars where they can have access to their guns readily. But that's a concealed carry person right there. That's somebody concealed carry. We're talking about a person who's not concealed carry. If you're not concealed carry, but you still have a gun and you want to be able to transport it legally, we're talking about those type of people. Ones who want to go to the range and back, from the gun store to home. They want to travel tri-state, and they're going from their home to their location, and their gun is not on their person. They need to have that gun unloaded in a box, separate from the ammo, okay, for traveling purposes. It's like a universal law. It's like an interstate. That's an interstate law for transporting a weapon. So yes, why not on my front seat? No, listen to me. You again, if you are legally wear and carry, okay, the gun should still be on your person. But again, there are people who have, they're putting the guns, putting little gadgets inside their cars where they can access their gun uh, fast without having to go through the whole seatbelt piece and pulling and all that, because that seatbelt gets in the way. Okay, I understand that. But if you're just regularly Joe Blow citizen who want to transport your gun from point A to point B, it needs to be in a lockbox or needs to be in a cloth box or bag. It needs to be unloaded and separate from the ammo. I hope I answered your question. Why not? Let's see what I need. Okay, I think I answered your question. All right, moving on moving on now. I think we're we're not gonna be here long. Okay. How do I report a lost or stolen firearm? You need to report your lost or stolen firearm within 48 hours of noticing a firearm is missing. The gun owner must report it to the local law enforcement. 48 hours, family. So watch this. That's why I say if you have a gun in your house, right? If you have a gun in your house, you should wherever you have your gun stored in your house, when you leave out your house during the day and you come back, you should go and see if your gun is still there. You should go and check and see if your guns is where you left it. Some people will get a gun and they will leave it on the shelf or somewhere in the house, and they haven't checked on it in days, weeks, months, or maybe even a year. Okay. All they know is this: I got my gun. It's on the shelf. It's locked away. And then they go and check to see if the gun is there, and the gun is missing because had parties, you had friends and family came over, and somebody found your gun and took your gun, and your gun been missing almost 6 months or 3 weeks. Okay, so I suggest to you to go wherever your gun is stored. You go there every day to make sure the gun is there. If your gun is missing 48 hours or lost, you need to report that gun missing within 48 hours to the police department. Let me see. Got a question, got a comment. Can you share some tips on how to improve accuracy and precision for a beginner shooter? Yes, but not right now. Let me get this out of the way, and then I'll deal with that last question. That'll be my last question I do it. That will be the last question I deal with when I go through the list. Okay. But back to the 48 hours. I'm gonna need you to report that lost or stolen gun within 48 hours of you realizing that that gun is lost or stolen. Okay, you call the police and you make the police report. Okay, let them know you either lost it or your gun was stolen, but do it within 48 hours. Okay, within 48 to 72 hours. Okay, the quicker you get that report done, the quicker they can start doing the investigation, and the quicker you can start asking your friends and your family, did anybody pick my gun up? Does anybody have my gun? Did anybody find a gun in my house? Okay. Okay. So that's what you want to do. When you realize your gun has been lost or stolen between 48 and 72 hours, you need to make a police report. Okay. Now watch this. Let me say this about this gun piece. When you buy a new gun, you need to take a picture of your gun, the serial number, the model, and the color.
Okay, I found this on the web for the serial number, the make, model, and color. Check it out.
That dang gone. Siri always interrupted me. You need to take a picture and put that information with your important documents. The serial number, The make, every time I say serial number, that ain't going series, start cutting up. That number, the model, the make, and the caliber, that should go with your important papers, okay? That should go with your important papers, okay? So that if you happen to lose your gun, or somebody steal your gun, you will have that information that you can give to the police department when you make the police report. Again, store that information with your important papers. And again, you do not store your gun with your important papers. You do not store your gun with your jewelry. You do not store your gun in your safe, because if a person comes in to steal your safe, he will get your gun too. You don't want to make sure your gun and your safe and your important papers are in two different locations. Okay. But between 48 hours and 72 hours, make the report to the police about your lost or stolen gun. All right. All right. Can I modify or customize my firearm? Yes, you can. You can legally modify your gun up to a point. Firearms can be modified in all kinds of ways, from how they look to how they perform. Okay. So yes, you can modify the firearm. Okay. Up to a point. Up to a point. Okay. Are we clear on that? What point? The grips, the action, how it fires, the trigger. You can make a trigger a little softer, because some of these triggers got these hard pulls with these triggers. So, the grips, the sights, you can put like a new sight on it. You've seen a lot of guns with sights being put on it. They putting trigger guards on it, okay? And they're manipulating. Some of them even have modified the barrels, a smoother barrel, the actions. So yes, it can be modified, but up to a certain point. All right. This next question. What are the penalties for illegal possession of firearms? So again, each state is different, man. Okay. But under the federal guidelines, you could be punished for up to 10 years imprisonment. And you could receive a maximum of 15 years without parole. Okay. If the offender has 3 or more prior convictions for a felony crime of violence, i.e., robberies, burglaries, assaults. So there's an enhancement penalty if you're caught with a firearm. Okay. And you have committed a felony crime, 3 or 4, or you're like a recidivist. Okay. So every time you're out here, again, because each state is different, every time you're out here illegal with these guns, you risk being locked up for a long period of time. 10 years, possible up to 10 years. So it could be 3 years to 10 years, up to 10. Okay. And some will get the minimum sentence of 15 years without parole if that person has 3 or more prior convictions. So if you know you out here, you've been prior convicted, of a felony, and then you got a gun charge, oh my God, we talking about a minimum 15 years. Is it worth it? Is carrying a gun for your protection when you have been and you're a felon, and you're a prior felon now? Because felons cannot have guns or ammunition. Say this again. Felons, if you have a felony on your record, you cannot possess a firearm or ammunition. And if you get caught with a firearm and you had previous convictions for felonies, you're going to get an enhanced penalty. And you got to ask yourself the question, is it worth it? Is it worth it? That's why I say you may want to invest into a bow and arrow. You know, maybe you may want to invest into some mace or taser. Okay, because that gun charge, as much as I want you to defend yourself, protect yourself and your family, you got to ask yourself the question: is it worth 10 years for the first charge, without the felonies, or is it worth 15 years because you got prior convictions for felony crimes of violence? You got to answer those questions before you leap out here and start carrying these guns in your car, on your person, whether you have never been a felon or not. There's some minimum sentences up to 3 years. Look here, up to 10 years, meaning you can get 2 years, 1 year, 3 years. Do you want to spend 1 year or 2 years and 3 years in jail for a gun charge? For a first-time offender? Do you want to? Got to answer that question. And again, each state is different. Their laws are different. Some are hard. New York and Jersey and Boston and Connecticut, Rhode Island, they are some of the toughest gun states in the nation. Okay? So be mindful when you're out here traveling and I got a video when you're riding dirty, with your guns, and you know you shouldn't be out here riding dirty. Okay? And let me go back to it says question. Can you share some tips on how to improve accuracy and precision for a beginner shooter? Yes, the first thing I would say is to get in a class. Because if you're a beginner shooter, you need to know the fundamentals of shooting. You know, a lot of people out here have guns, they're beginners, and they just need to know the fundamentals. They need to know how to breathe, how to stand, how to aim. They need to understand trigger control, sight alignment. Okay, you know, certain things you have to teach these things. You know, how to hold the gun. You know, how to breathe, exhale, inhale, not holding your breath when you're shaking and you're locking your knees and you're about to pass out. Okay. Okay. You know, I tell people you bring your gun. One of my secrets. You know what? No, I need to do a Patreon and really show y'all some secrets. One of my secrets. I'll give you one, which is a good one. I always bring my gun to my nose. The nose don't lie. Because once I bring the gun to my nose, my eyes immediately are looking down the sights. Front sight, rear sight. I say bring it to your nose. Don't bring it to your mouth. Don't even bring it to your ass. Bring it to your nose because your nose know. That's a secret. That's a marksmanship secret. So yes, I gave you how to improve your accuracy. Extend your arms out. You want to lock them and bring the gun up to the nose. Guaranteed to strike your target. Moving or standing still. Guaranteed. Yeah. But I would say again, you have to get into a marksmanship class, because a lot of people can teach the gun piece, but they don't know how to teach you how to shoot. That's a skill by itself. It takes patience because people, for different reasons, people are scared of the gun. I understand that. They don't know how to hold the gun. They don't know how to stand with the gun. But for beginners, I would say beginners get with a education. It's not going to destroy your confidence when you don't do what they tell you to do. easy for us instructors to lose in patience because I'm not sure if I'm still broadcasting. I hope I am. Again, I am not surprised that the stream went away. Family, I'm not sure if I'm broadcasting, but I'm about to bring this to an end if you can see me. I am about to bring this to an end if you can see me. I'm having some challenges with my feed, with my internet. Not surprised, but if you can see me, I am back. I believe I'm back. I didn't end the broadcast, but that feed was just, uh, I think I'm back. I'm back. So look here, I'm going to bring it to an end. I apologize for the feed. I got at least 4 or 5 bars. It's a very strong frequency, but again, I'm not surprised uh, when you're talking about guns. This is not. This used to be a gun-friendly country. It's not no more. When you're talking about showing people how to be responsible gun owners, gun users, you expect the unexpected. So with that said, again, I'm hoping I'm broadcasting. I hope I answered your question. I'm only hoping again that I am broadcasting live because I never ended the stream, never ended it. With that said, I need you to go to LWF training. I need you to go to LWF training. I need you to go to lwftraining.com. Okay. For your firearms needs, I need you to go there and sign up for your wear and carries or your concealed carries. I need you to sign up for your HQLs. If you no longer want your weapons and guns, I need you to just contact us. We will have somebody come out there, myself, and we'll pick up the weapons, transfer them from your location to ours for the company for educational purposes. And, you know, we'll make sure that people are trained properly with the weapons. Again, I'm not going to hold you. Thank you all for tuning in. I need you to like the video on the platforms you're on. I need you to share the video. And I need you to subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to the channel, whether it's YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Rumble, soon to be LinkedIn. Share, like, friend, follow, okay? And just tune in weekly for Along with Firearms, Gun Gods, and the hot topic for today or the week. With that said, thank you all for tuning in. I appreciate it. Again, share this video. Doesn't cost you nothing to share it, like it or unlike it, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. If you want to send any type of donation, you can at the Cash App Lone Wolf Firearm, or go to PayPal, PayPal.me/Lone Wolf Firearm. Okay. You can write again at lonewolffirearm@gmail.com. So you have everything you need. Everything you need to contact and become responsible gun owners, gun users. With that said, I'm going to get up out of here. Remember, it's not how much you know, it's how much you care. And there is a lone wolf in you just waiting to come out. I'm going to bring him out of you. With that said, I'm going to end this broadcast. Have a great day. I'll see you tomorrow. I'm out.